Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while, hasn't it? So, just to cut to the chase, I've recently gotten into Rust with a friend of mine that's got a little over 6,000 hours of playtime in this game, and has somehow found a way to drag me into it right along with him. Now, I'm not any good at all with PvP. I'll be quite honest with you, I think the last time that I was ever any good at it was probably somewhere around 12 or 13 years ago when my brother and I were still playing Black Ops 2. God, I feel old now. Anyway, as the title says, for those of you that are Rust veterans, you're gonna hate what I'm about to show you. Since I'm not any good at PvP, my friend is hosting a server that only he and I really get on. Since it's just us, I don't really have to worry about getting raided or shot at. Aside from the occasional scientist and patrol helicopter that passes over, but we'll get there. God, I swear I'm gonna take that stupid copter out some of these days. But with all that being said, let me tell you what I'm wanting to achieve today. I've been eyeballing this little island off to the west here on the map, and I just want to see what it's like to kind of base there. My current homestead is sat over top of a small river to make it easier for me to run my farms. I may have sort of fallen in love with the farming in this game, but it's you can thank T.I. Tom for that. He makes it look like so much fun, and it's nice to be able to get into a game where it's actually fun to sit there and farm. But yeah, I'm just wanting to take you guys along with me as I build up a new base to make more teas and pies on a server that has no use for them. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm happy to have you guys along. Now, my current base is set up on literally the other side of the map, and I'm going from a freshwater farming system to a saltwater system. So to minimize the amount of resource gathering that I'm going to have to do, I've packed myself to the gills with materials I think I'll end up needing to build my new base. I've got tons of wood, some stuff to hook up a couple batteries, water pumps, you know, stuff that I believe I would generally need when setting up a new base. Once I had gotten myself ready for the trek, I decided I would head to the nearby mining outpost to see if I couldn't find anything of use that I just don't currently have in my inventory. It was also a really good idea to stop because I had a couple of hazmat suits I could scrap down for some tarps, since the last base ate them all up when I crafted the 24 planter plots that I'm using now. Now, I didn't have a vehicle to make this journey to begin with, so I had planned to just do the whole thing on foot. Luckily, there was a bike just kind of chilling inside the mining outpost, so I could use it to make the ride there. The only really harrowing part of this journey was that the island is just on the other side of the jungle, and now that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but there's a lot of potential for crocs, snakes, tigers, and people that live in the jungle that act like scientists but aren't really scientists. I don't know what they're called, but they're there as well. Eventually, I had made my way to the shoreline just before the island, and luckily, it was on the outside of the jungle. Now, while I was able to completely avoid the rest of the jungle critters, I did end up encountering a croc in that clearing. So, after I dealt with him, I set up a small area where I could drop a couple of things in a chest and place down a bedroll just in case anything happened to me on the trip over or after I got there. Evidently, the croc was the only thing in the water because the swim over was actually quite peaceful, although the welcoming party was less so. I'm sorry, Carlos. I didn't want to do it. I'm so sorry. Once I had dealt with the wolves, I got to work trying to find myself a nice spot to sit down. I didn't want to be right on the water, but I also needed a steady supply of water to the base, so I set up a small 2x2 and set down my workbench and TC, and then realized that I misplaced the TC and that it's going to be a pain getting it to where I want it now because you can't pick up the TC. It's a whole thing. I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what I was going for here. I think I was trying to go for something like an open bungalow cabin style shack. I'm not exactly sure, but I kinda like it. It wasn't long after I realized I didn't have all the resources I was going to need with me, and decided it would be a good idea to go for yet another swim and scavenge for anything I could find on the floating debris in the water. Yes, the creative materials is still on the shoreline. I'm not exactly certain what I was thinking by doing this. It wasn't until after I'd spent roughly 10 to 15 minutes swimming that I remembered, oh, I brought more stuff with me that I can just go and get from the damn shoreline. And so after that magical revelation, I made a small crate, set whatever I had left in my inventory inside of it, then made the swim back to the shore. I even gathered some stones and metal ore while I was over there as well. Once I made my way back over, I was finally able to craft an axe and began the slow and agonizing task of destroying my TC because it was in the wrong spot. Repaired my axe 3 times and my jackhammer once, and it still wasn't enough. Then I decided, why not give some bullets a try? Why does 9mm do more damage to this wood cabinet than an axe and a jackhammer? Rust devs, please explain. Anyway, once I finally managed to get it broken down, I was able to place a new one and set some of my wood in it to keep the base from falling apart. Now that I have the TC down, I can work on setting up power, or at least getting an idea how I was going to run it. I know when I picked everything from my old base that I grabbed a few batteries, but on the way here I was able to grab a large battery just in a random crate, so of course I'm going to use that. I sat down the battery along with 2 solar panels and wired it up to let it charge, and also started crafting and placing down my planter beds for the farm. I think in total, when this is all built out, I'll have anywhere from 12 to 16 planter beds to farm with, which isn't massive, but it's a nice start. However, right now, I only have the 6 to work with. But I think this is enough of me yapping for now. I'm going to let the music take over, and you guys can enjoy the build until I feel the need to explain something else. Alright, I'm back. At some point, I realized I still didn't have enough resources, so I set everything in my inventory back inside of another chest, and made myself respawn back at my old base. I looked outside and saw that all of my old crops had finally grown up again, so I went ahead and harvested and cloned everything and organized it. Then, got all of my resources back out, mainly wood, and began the journey back to the other side of the island yet again. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a vehicle again, so I just decided I'm going to run it on foot again until I find one. Although this time, I decided to make my way around the upper part of the map, and it did take some time, but I was able to find myself a medium battery to use on the farm, as well as some tech trash that I could use for more solar panels. It wasn't much longer before I was back at the base and started working on things once again. And once again, I'm going to shut up and let the music roll as I build some more. All right, that's a large chunk of the build, and jeez, it is expensive. It's like 3K materials and upkeep per 24 hours. But I like it. I like the look of it. It's not something meant for PvP. It's something meant for me to have fun and enjoy the scenery. If you have a problem with this, you should leave a comment. The algorithm likes it when you leave a comment. But for the rest of you that are here to just watch and listen to something mildly entertaining, I appreciate you staying to the end. Thank you. It means a lot. But that's where I'm going to leave it off for the day. I'm thinking I want to add more to it. I'm definitely going to add more to the dock on the beach for sure. I had a lot of fun building this, and I like where it's going. Maybe I'll have more skins to paint this place with in the next video. Y'all take it easy now. Love y'all.